groups often fall short when it comes to identifying the value of the businesses to actually take the time to run one and invest in one. And instead, what you end up with is, quote, a business that sells online formation for your targeted group, end quote. Talk about that a little bit. What does that mean? Like, you're selling online formation for your targeted group. I'd love to hear more about it.
I think what's really interesting to the major shift I've seen in groups is the opportunity to, gather people with the same interest. Mm-hmm. It's really plain, but I really want to get into marketing or selling something using the groups tool. Maybe you should perhaps you think of your product and design your product to do it this way before you start to group about that. I've seen a lot of media launching like a subgroup, mm-hmm. which really look like subreddits, maybe like literature lovers who read this kind of newspaper. And I don't think it's really appropriate, or I don't see the ROI of that. And what the people that I met and take the most of the group are much more about focused on needs of the group members. Like, in our industry, you've got the Community Manager Summit and a lot of formation for a community manager across the world. And that's the best way because you just like, okay, we really want to talk with you about the place you work. And we spend a lot of time working in Facebook. And we really have this great tools, this really great content that can help you change your day-to-day comprehension of the business, of your tools, And I think it's, for me, just no-brainer that you can sell something to community manager or to social media manager using social media tools. Mm-hmm. And you really got to design that if you want to reach other like-minded people. You got to design your product before you launch your group. Is that clear?
Yeah, I think what I take away from that, and again, let me know if I've read this wrong, is when you rely on Facebook groups, as opposed to something where someone has to come to your website and engage in some way, you run the risk where the product isn't your product, but the product is the generic topic of the community. And people come to the community and don't necessarily, when we're talking about a business case, again, because them coming to talk with one another is great, but the business case, if they're just there to talk about, I don't know, if you make toys and they don't care about your toys, they want to talk about the toy industry or other toys, then the business case for you to pay someone to run that is less clear than it would be in an area where they specifically were visiting because they knew your product, you had a product, they love that product, and they want to talk about that product. Am I on the right track?
Yeah, you want it to go like clearly into your product, and you don't want to fool around.
Yeah, Facebook is full of distractions.
Yeah, I've seen some like really successful Facebook group in France that cannot find a way to monetize. The only way they found an exit, like one of them was about music, and everybody was daily sharing their favorite tunes and what they will listen at. Yep. And the thing is, it was really great, and it was like much more 1 million community pages. So, it's really important. Mm-hmm. When you start that, you got to get into it, and you got to spend a part of your life working on that. But the thing is, it's a community, but it's never succeeded to be a business. Mm-hmm. For me, that era has totally ended. But I don't see the point. Just like when you start something with your company, and when you start something as a business, you want to have a clear exit and a clear strategy and a clear goal. Sometimes you can just like fish with a really big fish net, mm-hmm. and try to have as many people as you can around the needs or around the conversation. But sometimes it's not the end of the day. You need to be specific, and you need to be on point and to nail it So I've seen a lot of community manager, junior, were beginning a business with a really, really great converting or great experience